Hello, everybody. Once again. All right, let me just take some of this stuff out. That's okay. You all know that I always pray in the morning. Come and pray with us. But today I have a special guest. I have Mr. T, and we are going to talk about some of the changes in Sasor. You know, I've been talking about gentrification that's going on here. That the additional people, the people who live here, are being squeezed financially, psychologically, in every single way. Mr. T, he has a channel called the Educational Traveler.
Educated traveler.
Educated Traveler. So you can always go on YouTube,
Instagram and Facebook.
Instagram and Facebook. We all of this. We all on all these channels. We on TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, and X. All right. So we all on here, and we're going to talk about that right now about what we going on. Mr. T on Educated Traveler, he have a lot of videos that he shows what's going on. Mr. T, introduce yourself to the crowd, tell them about your channel, and then we can get into what we're talking about.
Sure. First of all, thanks for having me on your show. I've had my YouTube channel, Educated Traveler, for over 10 years now. And I've also launched all the Instagram and Facebook stuff, so you can watch under the same handle, Educated Traveler, my daily stuff. But I do one documentary per month in the YouTube, and then the hardcore stuff is daily in Instagram, Facebook. So that pleases some, and then there's a lot of haters as well, because not everybody likes the truth.
So, definition hardcore, exactly as you make videos other words, you put up videos to show what you're talking about. It's just not words. That's what you mean? Because I noticed that on your videos that you show exactly what you're talking about, but they won't be, nobody could change your words. You were saying that this place is coming into be like a police state, and they have police on all the blocks. And we could talk about that. We could talk about all the local people, all the merchants up and down this block, since they have chased all the women and the travelers, the visitors come here out of Sasor, how the small business people are not eating. Whatever you want to talk about, we could get in there. We could start right there and talk about that.
Definitely. Part of my services down here that I sell is advertising. And when you sell advertising, you get to visit a lot of small to medium-sized businesses. And then you check your closing ratio, and compared to, say, 10 years ago, let me just say, 10 years ago, I was worse at selling than I am now, but I had a much better closing ratio. And that's simply because if somebody's nearly closing the doors of their business, they ain't going to buy advertising, a new sofa for the place, etc., etc. They're thinking about, what do I do next? Because I ain't making money, you know.
You don't have no expendable cash.
And it's very sad, you know, but this, to me, is a strangulation program, very deliberate, that they're running on Sasur. And it's about putting people out of business, and that affects, of course, the business owners. It's nasty, it's horrible, it's evil, and it affects the staff, it affects their families, it affects everybody. So this is what I'm fighting hard against. You can watch my Instagram videos, so you'll soon see my perspective from the videos I do on a daily basis, exposing the corruption.
And you know, this country is becoming into a police state. You know, I talk about, I have a lot of friends, and they always say, "Oh, I want to go to America. I want to go there and make money." And I keep on telling them that right here is the best place because they're sovereign. And unfortunately, I don't think that they know what that means. You know, they don't have to pay no taxes. If they want to, they can live off the land. Communities can get together and pool their money and eat. One thing I like about Dominican Republic, in my last video I did, I was talking about the police mindset. 10 years ago, the police mindset was us. If the police had a problem with you, they used to come and talk to you. Not every policeman had a gun. Remember, I remember the police used to have to share their gun, and only the top officers had guns. And when they went out there and talked to the people, they conversate. And the people used to all come around. And if it was not right, the people would sit there and argue, and they'll come to some mutual agreement on whatever the issue was. But now they hire all these young kids, and they put in their head, it's us and it's them. Instead of the whole country being one as us, there's division. And I'm seeing a lot on TikTok how they running up on the people who live here, the Dominicans. They running up on the Dominicans and they IDing them, and they taking away their sovereignty because they got new rules of engagement. They keep on putting on the news, oh, we have new rules of engagement, don't be upset, but the police have the authority to hold you, to question you, to lock you up, take you away. This is our new police system that we have down here. And I told the people, I told them, even though you're white, Mr. T, don't get mad at me. I told the people, when you let other people in your house, they're gonna bring their shit with them. And what I meant was their laws, the way they live, and their expectations.
Yeah.
But can you build on top of that about what you see with the policing and how they are treating the local people here?
Yeah. Well, first of all, during Operation Atlantico, or as it started, which was almost a year ago, the heavy one, it probably started 15 years ago, but I'll come back to that.
10 years ago.
Yeah. But the big Operation Atlantico, all the police trucks and all of that, at the very same time as that kicked in, Airbnb put rules in to kick off any accounts with customers who were not guest friendly, or who promoted themselves as guest friendly. So if they were guest friendly, they got kicked off. So we have to scratch our heads and think, how can a big corporation like Airbnb get involved in small town affairs like Sosua at the very same moment? And that brings me to who's behind all of this. This is the same globalists that are trying to take over, who run the scamdemic, who run Operation Atlantico. It's the Zionists that are trying to. It's the Zionists that are killing the Palestinians, that are wanting the U.S. military to join the Israeli military and all that and take over America. It's the Zionists that are doing all of this shit. And they've had for years these bastards fly in and whisper in the ear of the politicians here how to pull the strings and what new rules to come in with and so forth. Good saying is, our freedoms stop where the government's noses begin. You know, if it's not law enforcement, then it's law abuse. And we are seeing more of that law abuse, and it looks very much like ICE back in America.
ISIS, exactly like home.
Which is trained by IDF in Israel and so on. So it's all interconnected, whether people want to admit it yet or not.
Good point.
So this whole thing that we're fighting is a big global campaign. You mentioned the word gentrification. You know, this is about destroying communities, destroying economies. You know, destroying Sosua Beach. You know, they have no proper plan except let's just slap some plazas in, get rid of all this bunch of people here who's squatting on the beach. That's how they look at it, even though they've served millions of people for decades and get zero credit for that. You know, that should just be, it's an element that needs to be removed. That's how they look at it. And the same with the town. We need to remove this element of single people travelers. And that's what started 15 years ago. But they thought, no, we can't have dudes clashing with police. So how do we get rid of all these single men? Well, let's get rid of what they come for. So that's when they started harassing the ladies. You had ladies who work ordinary jobs coming night clubbing, Fridays at night, Saturday night. I was up there with the camera. Police were yelling at me because I was filming. They didn't even manage to get their legs out of the taxis, the ladies in dresses and high heel shoes. They got arrested for what? For absolutely nothing, for just coming to Sosua. That was the start of Operation Atlantica right there.
And see,
Yeah.
and it's a mindset. How can you arrest somebody for doing nothing?
Well, we know who runs the drugs here, and the drug dealers, they go scot-free. The police don't chase them. You get homeless people sometimes, not many, but a few floating around the streets of Sosua.
They don't mess with
They do nothing about it.
They don't mess with. I saw the other day, Mr. T, and all you who do come to Sosua, you see the crazy guy that walks around. He always sleep on the sidewalk. So I was riding my bike home the other day, and the police went to say something to him. He gave him the finger and just told him, and just kept on walking. They didn't even go up there and bother him. But
Ladies in spandex.
not even
Tell the
that.
story.
Not even that.
Yeah, they're the ones that go.
See, they have this little thing that they do on the 1st and then on the 15th. They have Haitian people here working. And what they used to do is, down here, you get paid twice a month. You get paid on the 1st, you get paid on the 15th. So on the 1st or the 15th, early in the morning, anything that's walking on the street, they arrest them and tell them to send somebody to go pick up their money, and they can get out of jail. But it's gone past that now. They don't care. They are, not only are they attacking the Haitians, they attacking the Dominican people. Like he said, they have drug runners here, but the guys that doing the drugs, there's two different, when you say drugs, there's a little local guys on the street, and there's the big boys up in the mountains. They're not going nowhere up in the mountains. I have yet to see them up in the mountains, because up in the mountains, they shoot back. But all the little guys in the streets, they running up on them, and that's only for Atlantico could take over the drug business down here. Because, like he said, the Zionists, they're not going to let no money slip by their hands. And they're going to bring, that's in my opinion, they're going to bring and take over that. And with the women and with everything else, the night entertainment business, they're going to take over that and they're going to open back up. They just want control of that. Now, talking about, people say, well, how is that possible? Because he said 15 years ago, that's when they started, no, not 15 years ago, 10 years ago, they started attacking the people on the street. And this is what they did, and I think this is what happened.
If I can elaborate, because
Go ahead.
15 years ago I was there filming the ladies being attacked. What followed that is they lost their high heel shoes and the dresses. Now they came in spandex and short heel shoes for running. And they were coming, we called it the fish tank effect, up and down Pedro Clisanta. And girls would come up and say, oh, could you walk me to this other bar?
Right. That was 10 years
we
that was 15
became
years
walker
ago.
conchos.
Right. They
And,
couldn't walk by themselves.
So now it's at another level
Right.
altogether. But they've gotten very cocky. It's like a bully. If he's not given a good thrashing, he gets cockier and cockier and cockier. And the
He keep
problem
on
I
pushing
see
them
down
around.
here, and I love my proverbs, the world won't go to hell because of evil people, but it will go to hell if good people don't stop
Don't-
them.
don't
And
do nothing, right.
and the locals here are so shit scared of even putting something on a shirt like I do, or putting a poster up somewhere. They're scared of going out united and protesting against things. I couldn't understand on the beach. All of these people got screwed over by the Beach Association, who sold them out to the government, to the corporations. And nobody went to a lawyer. Nobody united.
They're not educated. See, the
Yes.
problem is we.
Well, go to Mocha. They will burn tires and do things.
Yeah.
But over here in Sosua, the Dominicans will not unite because
They're
they
not.
come and go. It's like a rotating door. You get a town that's very much the same people all the time. who kind of inspect every 5 inches of each other's property, and you've moved your goalpost. They know everything about everybody. So you go to a place like Mocha, if there's some bullshit they will get the guns out, they'll shoot, they'll burn tires, they'll burn a house down. But over here, there's such a big turnover of people. Sometimes they're in the other side of the island and they're back again. So nobody really sticks together. Even the business owners, most of them hate each other. So they don't unite and have a meeting and stand up against this corporation / government takeover.
I see it a little bit different. I see it that they're not educated in the dealing with white people. First, they're blinded, just like when Hard Rock first opened up. And they remember when they put out all the fancy cars out there.
Mm-hmm.
And see, these people are poor here. They're third world country. They're poor. They see stuff and convenience. And in my channel, I talk about stuff and convenience equals death. So when I say they're not educated, they don't know all the tricks. See, I'm a black man who grew up in America. I grew up in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. America is the most racist country besides Israel. And that's why they're boys. That's why they're hanging together. Like he's saying, I'm so mad, I am so upset. How can a grown man, a sniper, hide in the woods and shoot a 7-year-old boy in the head? This is the mentality of these people. The people down here do not realize that. They've been told, they have this big campaign, me no black, me no black. And they tell the people, listen, you're not black, but you're Hispanic. You're from Spain. And they say, oh. But see, what they don't realize is that the West don't even consider Spanish people white. They're third world. They're other. But they are striving to be something that they're not, and they do not know about them. And that's why they're so vulnerable to be taken abused and being abused. And that's what's happening here. People are going hungry. I'm right here. He's in my place of business. And we're on the road to the beach. Today is Wednesday. 10 years ago, you have 200 to 300 people walking down to the beach every hour. Mm-hmm. Mr. T, tell them how many people walk down the street in a day now.
2 couples.
He's not lying.
10 dudes and a donkey.
He's not lying.
It's
sad. There's about maybe, today's Wednesday, I would say maybe 25 people.
And let's just knock an objection on the head here. Oh, but it's low season. No, we have to look up to see the bottom of the low season 5 years ago. It's just so low because they've cut off so many flight routes to Puerto Plata. As I said earlier, this is a global thing. So even from Berlin 20 years ago, there was 25 flights per week to Puerto Plata Airport from Berlin. And that was just one city in Europe, So you had all these different cities in Europe and Canada and US flying directly to Puerto Plata. If you compare that till today, there's very few flights, and they've made it very difficult also for some people. They have to jump across 1-2 stops before they can fly out of Miami and come down here. So it's not easy. But all the globalists, they're also talking about that people won't be traveling in the future, or they'll be selling their tickets to wealthier people and all this kind of snob shit that they come out with. So there's a lot of big things at play globally. They don't want us to travel. We should be stuck in smart cities. We should be on digital cash, facial recognition, China-nize, or should I say Israelize the whole world, because that's...
You know what? And I tell people that cities all around the world are nothing but death camps. They are just holding station until they want to wipe out humanity.
If I can just throw something in the pot there, I don't want to take it.
Yeah.
Maybe people don't want too much red pill stuff. Everything
Is it true?
has been weaponized.
Weapon,
Anything
everything.
we like, need, want, desire, respect, admire, live for that has something to do with human life or business has been weaponized to destroy, to kill, to maim, to like a bottle of milk today. Would you agree? Costs twice as much as 5 years ago.
Exactly.
A liter of juice costs twice as much, and the petrol's going up and so forth. So when I say everything's weaponized, during Biden, you had all the sexualization, LGBTQ, and teachers speak to the kids behind the parents' backs, and all those agendas running. And then you had all the scamdemic, with the pokies, the clot shot, and so on, and they managed to kill 20+ million people.
That COVID stuff.
Yeah, so I mean, problem, reaction, solution. But anyway, we're going on a global scale here. I don't know if you want to take it back to Sosua, but everything that we are experiencing with traffic lights going in, you go 6-7 years ago in Sosua, you could go Cabaretta to Puerto Plata in 45 minutes, and there was like 3 traffic lights. Now you have almost 40 traffic lights, road curbs, traffic stops. The cops are out there blocking people. You know.
And see, this is what they don't understand. When I say when you let somebody in the house, they bring their shit with them. These people come down here. All right, this country is not a rich country. It is a rich country. This country is rich, but all their natural resources are being stolen by the Canadians because they got their gold mines. They got gold mines here where nobody in this country should be living in poverty. All right, Canada is taking 97% of all the gold that they take out the ground and just leaving 3% to this country. How that's possible, I don't know. I know how it's possible. But they are killing the people. They're killing the people and they don't know it. They don't know it yet until they're in the ground.
The big name of it all is called Agenda 2030. And they're all in on it. Back in Rio de Janeiro in 1979, 179 countries signed this filthy, evil agreement. And sustainable development means gradual kill-off. Plan 2030, Sustainable Development Plan 2030, also known as Agenda 2030. That's what we're all experiencing right now. And if you read the Rockefeller Lockstep Manual, which a guy came out on YouTube in 2015, reading at a TV station, the Lockstep Manual. That was a leaked document that wasn't supposed to be seen by humanity, only for governments. And that had everything about run pandemics, then you're going to run spraying ticks, everything that we are experiencing today, from oil platforms blowing up or chemical spills and train derailments. And you had a plane-demic for a while, and then it's UFO shit. Project Bluebeam, they're added all the time. The goal is to remove 90+% of the human population by 2030. Now they're building concentration camps right across America. And you better lock and load, Americans. You better lock and load and get rid of those who are not truly patriotic and not believing in the Constitution.
Not even
they're
that.
cancers to your country. And they're coming in, they're going to try to do it through joining IDF, who's been shooting kids in the heads, like you said, and ICE. So ICE, actually, I call it the Israeli concentration entity. Okay, so you are seeing 2 armies being merged that shouldn't be merged because America stands for completely different.
That's a long time ago.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
And listen,
Supposed to.
I hope that you are really listening to the words he's saying, and I've been saying this. It's not a black and white thing. Even though you hear me talk about white people, only because they're complicit and they don't stand up. But see, they don't know. Just like I've been brainwashed, they've also tried to brainwash him. They brainwashed him against me, and they brainwashed me against him. But he said something very important. For all of you all who do not know, look up Papa Rockefeller. 1849. Look about what he wrote about society. Now, the Rockefellers are one of the biggest demon people in the world because everything, everything that we do go through that family because everything we use from all our medicines, from all our food, is all chemical based. Rockefeller owned all the chemical companies in everything.
If you look into Rothschilds, Rockefellers, BlackRock, the big company BlackRock, I mean, the billionaires decided at one stage, okay, all this capitalism is all good and dandy, but suddenly it became more profitable for them to run a different plan, and that's Agenda 2030, which is about destruction, taking everything away from the lower and middle class and making everybody dirt poor, and then everything is kept for the upper class. And the movie industry has been making movies about these totalitarian societies for years where, you know, the Hunger Games and you're living in block 7, like smart cities, prison camps. These are invisible prison camps. And
That's what I said. That's what I've been saying.
They're after everybody, but they will continue to try to turn us against each other, black versus white, sexually, politically, financially, every way they can divide and conquer people. I mean, think about COVID-19. People are arguing whether they should have a face nappy on or not, whether they should get a PCR test jabbed up in the nostrils or not, whether they should take the jibby jab, how many pokey pokies you should take and boosters and all that. And everybody started arguing, well, I'm not going to see grandma anymore. She may be infected, you know.
I don't want to infect her either.
Yeah, and all this kind of stuff. And if you had a party of more than 6 people in Canada, you could be arrested and all that shit. This is corporations/governments all in cahoots coming after people's liberties. And it's our human rights, civil rights, and our property rights. And if we don't fight for those, they say freedom's like money. If you don't fight for it, it gets taken off you. So this is the time, I said, to lock and load across America, to join forces. All these ICE agents standing in front of these concentration camps with protesters there, they're so cocky, but they have face nappies on. They're not willing to show themselves like a good cop would have 20 years ago.
They want to go back home to their family.
You know,
Mr. T, can you talk about sovereignty? Can you explain people about being sovereign? Because people in America think they're sovereign, but they are not.
Self-ownership. That means you take full responsibility of everything in your life, but you also decide, I'm not paying for other undeserving people or corporations or entities shit, you know. And one thing is, if you find yourself trapped in a place where society, everything is toxic, then the old saying comes in, good plants don't grow in poisonous soil. You can either fight or you can take the flight. We are 2 of the guys who took the flight, you know, and here there's no letterboxes. Here you can run a small business and some of them fly it under the radar. You can live unaffected, nobody knocking on your gate.
Not no more. It changes.
Unless you step on somebody's toes, then people will knock on your gate, of course, in any country. But if you treat people with kindness, with love, with respect, then there's no reason, down here, why you should be harassed. And Dominicans are very friendly people, but they love respect. People always say to me, so why is there no senseless assaults in Dominican Republic? Why don't we see vandalism of cars and so forth? You know why? I should take my slip off right now, because they get a slipper around the ass when they're like 3, 4, 5 years old a few times till they remember the line in the sand. And then they grow up to respect. When Mama says, take the broom, clean that dirt off the terrace, you better grab that broom and get going. Otherwise he gets a slipper across the ass. So that is in them when they become adults, and there's like an underlying of expected respect in society, which I love, and I think you love too.
Yeah, respect of your neighbor,
You know,
That's what I keep on talking about. Us and them. The people down here is us. Even before it was the people, the police, and the government was us. And I want to talk. I want to talk about one more thing. And what happened? What happened? What happened? How did Atlantico get in here? They came and they bribed all the people in places of power. They chasing comfort and stuff. And I keep on telling you, that's what they come here with, comfort and stuff. And the people are sovereign. So when they give the president, when they give the mayors, when they give the town councilmen money, and they take it because they're not educated. When I say they're not educated, they don't know the history of the people that's giving them money. Because it's the same thing they did through Africa. And then once they give the presidents and the people the money, they got them. Once they give you that money, they got you.
you talk about sovereign. Don't become dependent. That's the most dangerous thing in this new age that we live in, is dependency. I know there won't be any pension coming my way. I haven't lived in any country long enough to earn a pension. So then your mindset automatically changes to, okay, how can I not only survive, but make enough money to thrive and build from that venture or business for the future to take care of yourself? And just imagine every benefit, every pension's gone in 10 years' time from Earth. There is no more benefits, no more pensions. What would people do? I won't mention his name, but there was a guy who just attempted committing suicide just recently here, locally, because he couldn't access his money anymore. See, so this is what would happen globally very quickly if people don't become independent up here. Just say, I will take care of myself and my family, or whoever it is you need to take care of. I will take care of my business, my affairs, not owe anybody any money, but I will expect my money paid promptly if it's a deal, and so on. You know, you go through life saying, I am a sovereign human being that relies on myself for survival and thrival. And once you remove that expectation that somebody else is going to come to your rescue, you will be screwed over. Once they get this, if they get this Israeli-US merger of militaries, they're coming for all US citizens. They're already building concentration camps at an alarming rate, and they're kidnapping 2-3-year-old children. It's already happening. It's already happening.
T, you don't even know? They already got them built. They call Walmart. They call Walmart.
And take that and switch it around. It's Mart Law.
But
Walmart, Mart Law, martial law.
You all know already that Walmarts have all these super Walmarts by railroad tracks in the rural districts. They're not in the cities. They're out in the rural districts, and they made up for camps for they could grab the people. But listen, what he's saying, they already prepared for this about 50 years ago, because FEMA already have like something like 3 million coffins for American citizens to bury you. And each coffin holds 10 bodies. Look it up. Anytime you don't believe anything that we are saying, look it up. That's what I'm talking about. Uneducated because you don't check your history.
Can I just throw one thing in?
Go ahead.
Yeah. One of the things that disgust me the most about humanity in general, irregardless of color, religion, nationality, I don't even look at those things. I look at how do you treat me, other people, and animals. You know, that's the only thing that matters. But anyway, my point is, we got hang on, I got a mind blank on that one. Let me just come to. I got myself sidetracked. But there was a point I was trying to make about.
That's the food. That's the metal in the food.
No, we were talking about the concentration camps.
Concentration. Yeah.
I mean, ICE, I call them Israeli concentration entity, a bunch of wet nappied guys who put face nappies on, and because there are many, they can slam somebody to the ground. They've even shot people. But
they shot a woman in her car.
But to take 98% of those people who they have taken to camps, they call them detention centers.
Yeah, detention
but
centers.
you would live a better life inside a prison than in one of those detention centers because you're just locked in a cage like a freaking dog. There's no clean water.
It's
and
a kennel.
They rape.
It's actually a kennel.
Yeah,
It's a kennel. It's a kennel.
And they rape the young ladies and so on. So I can't get my brain around, this was my point, why people haven't locked and loaded. We've always heard of America as the most well-armed nation on earth. So people are still focusing on the football, on the Formula One, on the basketball and all that, while American citizens are being kidnapped in open daylight by masked thugs, slammed to the ground, having injuries done to them, taken away, and they managed to erase all their records.
Yeah, you don't see them no more.
You know, so Martin Luther King once said, injustice to someone somewhere, if not dealt with, soon becomes injustice to everyone everywhere. It's not whether it's going to happen, some shitty situation, it's when. It's just a time bomb. And the more we watch sports and sit around eating popcorn and don't pay attention to the big firewall coming at us, the worse it's going to be to try to get out of it. You know, prevention's better than cure. Folks really need to educate themselves, like you said. Educate yourself about what's going on. You can go into Instagram and you can watch videos about what's happening to the Palestinians, what's happening in Lebanon right now, in Syria, and in America, and Canada, and wherever. And if you keep watching and sharing these videos from ordinary people, don't watch the television, the Zionist-run media. Stay the hell away from that because that's chewing gum for the brain. That's meant to do this.
Yeah,
it's meant to distract you. Watch the hand, watch the hand. Don't see the elephant in the room that's coming closer. We know 9/11. There's videos out now, if you just bother watching them, where lots of witnesses say it went boom, 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 all the way down the building. What do you think that boom, boom was? And then
they blew it up.
And then that guy who got the big insurance payout said, yeah, I spoke to the fire chief about Building 7, and it was too risky keeping him there, so I said to him, pull it. So, okay, they already had the explosives rigged up in that one, but not the other two buildings? Come on. And when a plane goes through a building, they showed the nose cone coming out the other side. Have you ever seen a plane hit a duck at 100 kilometers an hour? The whole nose cone is completely indented, you know. So how can a big plane come through a building with a complete nose cone through concrete and steel? It's all bullshit. They created a problem. They control the impression with their fake stream, CGI and shit. And then in comes the solution. We're attacking the Middle East, you know, just like they did with the weapons of mass destruction, only to find out there was no weapons of mass destruction. It's time to wake up and retaliate. I have a playlist in my YouTube channel called Wake Up and Retaliate. You can't retaliate against shit till you've woken up. And you won't wake up if you spend too much time watching sports, porn, or whatever else, or go night clubbing and keep your head in the sand. We are being sprayed in the skies. There's plenty of evidence of that for 20, 30 years. We're being sprayed with ticks. They're spraying Roundup over forests and lakes. They want to kill everything. This is a kill-off program because if we can feed ourselves, we can survive without them. So they are attacking through legislation as well as through poison all our food.
We already done. All of that is already done. Listen. Do you all listen? There's two things I want to say. Encyclopedias. Back in our day when we was growing up, in the 50s and 60s, those are the encyclopedias. If you want to know about history, get the encyclopedias from 1950 and 1960. They have more truth in it than Google, AI, or any of that stuff that you are go searching through right now, because they rewrote history about 10 times already.
You know what history stands for?
His story.
His story.
His story.
Whose story?
His, the writer. And also, talking about spraying, they have more metal. I saw a documentary on bottled water. Poland Springs and all the waters that we drink are full with metal. And metal...
Scrape your windscreen. Take a credit card. Go scrape your windscreen after a day where you see all this hazy white shit, and